We've heard a number of stories about play-based parenting here at Famplay. Part of this is the story, but more importantly at Famplay, we are allowing parents 2 minutes to reflect on how we parent our children with growth of the whole child, whole family, and whole world in mind. And we focus attention on active learning. Active learning means we unplug the computer and play with our children. So here's an example of a short presentation many of you have been giving in your communities, just to help people focus on what's often missed and forgotten about by parents. The 15-minute a day or hour-long projects that we as adult and child engage in, where the lifelong learning flourishes. So let's walk through some basic premise of our stories of play-based parenting. The foundation, the roots we are forming is in active, engaged learning. There's play and projects. Now play can be a mess and a free play and structured play. So there's different kinds of play we've talked about, but play is time to enjoy and explore. It's full of lifelong learning. Some play is competitive, some cooperative. There's solo play and social play. Now, some of the ideal play is recreational and it reduces stress. But as we've talked about, many of us plan our play and vacations and these kinds of things as recreation, and they become less and less play and stress and create more stress. So remember, a key component of play there is it is stress reduction. It doesn't mean in competitive play there's not a stress and a pressure. It just means, especially at our approach here at Famplay, is that we're observing how we're handling this stress, especially using the play and free play as time for stress reduction. We play with friends, we play in the neighborhood, play in the woods, play wherever you like. It's not that you can never play online, but the part, especially under 8-year-olds and 12-year-olds in our country, there's no reason to go online to play. There is more play in the world offline than you can possibly imagine. But parents, we're not thinking this way because we didn't have this kind of immediate access as we did as children. And again, it's great daycare. Play is a way for children to engage in lifelong learning. As I continue at rapid pace here, to separate the other kind of active engaged learning at Famplay from just the basic play are the family projects. Now, projects are time to develop the self in the world. Both play and projects are time to develop and learn in the world. But projects are more self-intentional. And with a family project, this is where the adult is guiding more the child's project. But the ideal here is for the child to grow into an adult who can assume projects of their own. Now, the difference between personal and service projects is slight, but personal projects are often for health or to develop skills in an education or a certain kind of lifestyle. We may make things around our own house. We may work out or do certain kinds of things, lose weight, or acquire a certain kind of skill. A service project is slightly different in terms of, instead of developing the self, it's more focused on how do I develop the world, or how do I contribute my own service to the world, to inform, build the world. We'll talk about this a little bit, but this is fairly advanced Famplay understanding at this point. But the point here is play and projects, in both personal and service, engage youth and adults in lifelong learning. I've rapidly gone through play and projects here. You can go through them on your own when you use this Prezi presentation. But here's our point that many of you fans of Famplay have appreciated. We nurture the nature. We also challenge the nature of the individual children, but the idea is we observe learning, all sorts of learning. What kind of person our child is, what kind of person we are as adults, what kind of environment we have, and we observe the learning that happens within there. The next thing we do is we support risk with responsibility. Again, these are the basic tenets of the introduction to play-based parenting. But we are giving examples and sharing stories on how it is difficult and how we try to support risk with responsibility throughout childhood and adolescence and into emerging adulthood. And throughout this whole time as parents, we model virtues of character and learning. The difference between play and projects is oftentimes it's fun to take on a villain or an evil guy in play, where when you have to be the evil questioning person about the project, is that going to stand? Are you sure we should build that high? It's a little more difficult. But what we're doing all along here is we're nurturing the nature, and specifically the nurture of nature of the learning that happens for life. This is very, very difficult over time, but as we develop as play-based parents and our stories we share, and what I'm very impressed with so many of you is, look, our Facebook campaign is simply to have parents post stories of things your family learned. Again, it doesn't have to be affiliated with Famplay.com or anything. It's just that we're mindful of how we're posting the important things we're learning in life. So what we need to do first is reflect. How did we all learn the important lessons in life? And also, what skills, talents, attitudes do we all wish we could improve? Now, I'm not going to answer your specific question, and again, we cannot expect our children to answer the questions exactly like we do. But this is the content that provides fruitful discussion for more engaged learning. So, our two-step process for introduction is the simple part is free play, 15 minutes a day. It doesn't matter what you do as adult, parent and child, or extended family, but play, and we especially unplug and play. We play so we all enjoy, everybody in our family or neighborhood, but we're focused here on free play for 15 minutes every day, 7 days a week. Just engage in the play and enjoy it. That's the first phase. This is a lot tougher than it seems, but this has a powerful impact on people's lives. The second part of the story is, look, we create family play and projects, and we conduct lots of research and design around these play and projects. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to say, look, we spend lots of time and effort on these, but if you do not have the habit of free play for 15 minutes a day, or, of course, some of us are out of town for a few days, again, the habits we develop of playing, adult and child, is essential. Then we begin the family play and projects, the research-based and the highly attuned projects where we develop the whole child with the whole family and whole world in mind. Now, the simple differences we mentioned earlier, but to be specific here, play is time to develop the self and world. Play has freedom to engage as a whole person or a whole child with very low to no risk. Projects are slightly different because projects are time to build something in the world that has standards that moderate the risk. Now again, a project may be a very personal project to build a self. As an adult, we lose 5 pounds or can run 5 seconds faster, however we do these kinds of things as our personal projects. Or it can be some greater service. Hey, the kids that do the recycling programs at school is so common. But what we're doing here with the projects is we're allowing children to understand the standards, and we're helping them moderate the risk as adults that we set with these standards. So risk, standards, freedom, and character are all part of the learning that we're enhancing and emphasizing. In other presentations, and again, we've been talking about Common Core because we understand that is what school is focused on, Common Core. And what I'm trying to suggest here with family play and the projects we're creating is to support that Common Core. And those are standards, right? Academic standards of Common Core, career and college preparation. What we're concerned here more with family play and projects are how children and youth, and again adults, are realizing we're underdeveloped, assessing risk and assuming risk with responsibility, setting standards and meeting to standards, and expressing our freedom and characters. So the character virtues are the focus of the learning, but character virtues or virtues of character is something many of us understand very little about. That's why we act out some of our favorite stories and we start to appreciate these stories that happen. But our goal of the family play and projects and everything we do here at famplay.com is we have growth for the whole child, whole family, and whole world in mind. What we're doing is providing these 2-minute reflections for parents, mainly because our modern world allows us to think for 30 seconds, and 2 minutes is a real stretch. but we chain these 2-minute increments together to form a more 10-minute reflection on the comprehensiveness about what we're doing as parents, and our play-based parenting curriculum and all our other curriculums. So family play is the content of all of our curriculum here because it's time for learning. It's time for learning life skills, healthy habits. How do we learn about life in the world? Through family play and projects. And family play is time for learning the virtues of a character needed to engage in learning itself. And this is the focus. How do we learn the important lessons in life? What is it that we do to actively engage in learning throughout our life and model this for our children? This is the core of the stories we tell here at Play-Based Parenting. Thank you for joining us. We hope we are providing you as parents 2 minutes to reflect and absolutely enhance the play and projects that are happening in your life and in your world around you. Thank you. This is Matthew C. Andrews. I'm broadcasting from Palo Alto, California here, and it's been wonderful to have so many questions this evening, and we will continue to serve your needs.